First record of the day, serving it up Gary's way, is Hold the Girl by Rina Sawayama. There we go. But Hold the Girl is 13 songs, 46 minutes long. I believe it is Rina's second record, second LP. Off the top of my
Yes.
head, I know she had I believe a self-titled record in 2020 that was pretty popular, I'd say. Also, one of the Dirty Hit and Associates, by the way.
Dirty Hit LLP.
Dirty Hit just pumping out them fucking artists, man. So going to Hold the Girl, I did listen to her full record about maybe a week ago leading up to this, just to kind of get a sense of some of the things, because I didn't really listen to it too much, but was vaguely around in it. But Hold the Girl, I actually really like. For the first half of the record, really blew me out of the water for a pop record. Something that I've been saying for a while for pop and everything is, lately it's been very good, where you have like Tri XCX making really good records, Billie Eilish, and so on and so forth. You have a lot of talented female artists that are kicking it, just kicking down the door and going mental. But Hold the Girl to me seems like almost like a compilation of all of the new sounds and ideas that I've heard the past maybe 2 to 3 years of pop into one record. There's a lot of like jazz influences, a lot of pop, just normal influences, a lot of electronic influences, and her voice is absolutely incredible.
I would
The beginning of
not to totally cut you off, but I would say some of those influences, I would even go back to that sort of dark era of pop that stands in direct contrast to what we have right now, where you
like
had a lot.
Lorde era and
I
others.
I think songs like "Hold the Girl" are a direct callback to Madonna and Lady Gaga.
Oh yeah, I was
For
gonna do the
example.
Madonna comparison, especially for Hold the Girl. Like that one reminded me a lot of Madonna. Even
Yeah, the self-titled
I
tracks, two
can't think
songs
of it.
in.
Yeah, but I'll think of another one. There's one off the tip of my tongue. But anyways,
Yeah.
The Minor Feelings is a beautiful opening track. Like absolutely love it. Like the way it just builds and builds and really gets you into the mood of the record. Like, oh wow, all right, it's gonna be one of those. And after that, you get the title track "Hold the Girl," and it reminds me of like Madonna, and almost her voice sounds a little bit like Cher in the way too.
I
Like,
could totally see that.
yeah, the way it's done, but in such a modern way that it has a lot of throwback calls to the early aughts, late '90s inspired pop. But
Like it has
it's
that like runway sort of like glitz and glam to it.
yeah, 100%. Yeah. And with that, it's just I really enjoy it. This Hell, right after, I believe, like I like to say, oh my god, why can't I think of his name? Big British pop artist, Elton John. There you go. I think Elton John has producer credits on it, I believe.
Oh, that would be
And
very interesting. That'd be very multi-layered because the song's sort of like a very like queer liberation song in a way. It's meant to play off of the idea that um people in the LGBTQ plus community are constantly told that they're going to hell, essentially.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so she's kind of spinning that and saying, okay, well, if we're all going to hell, we're going to make hell a very fun place. And so she was saying, like, I want this song to be like played as people are like going out, like to their like nights out of whatever they're going to be doing. Like, kind of reclaiming and subverting that entire thing. So take that and then add Elton John onto it if that's the producer credit. I'll confirm, but that would be
yeah.
a really solid move. And yeah, Father Elton John Misty over here has been doing a lot of ghost producing.
He's been doing a lot of I'm actually not a big fan of Elton John. His solo work, I've never been a big fan of it. But him as a producer, he is fantastic as a producer, and the stuff that he's done later in his career, I think in the pop genre has done a lot of. He's done a lot of good stuff. Um,
And yeah,
but
you're
anyways, like
correct. You're correct on the Elton John
on this
production credit.
perfect.
Yeah.
I thought I heard something about it where she changed some stuff because of his input and everything, and also reminded me of uh, Lord, I can't think of anybody's name. Who is that? Um, he did that song with what's her face on a pop record about 2 years ago that is very popular.
No idea.
Completely blank.
Anyways,
But anyways, I want to say it reminded me of that. But anyways, Catch Me in the Air, Forgiveness, both two good songs. And the thing that I really appreciate with the record is it's constantly changing themes. It's not like some of the pop records we've gotten lately, it's been kind of monotone or it's picked one particular sound and it's just stayed with that. This is it's varied. Like if you go like um Holy Till You Let Me Go and then Hold the Girl, those are two very different songs, but they're cohesive and they fit in the way of the record. And I was actually looking up some reviews and some people were saying weren't totally happy with the record because they weren't saying there were any super hits or whatnot. And I can agree with that, where they were like they weren't necessarily super standout songs, but as a playthrough, as an album, it's fantastic. And I think a lot of people are mis misjudging records, misjudging projects because a lot of people want the hit. They want the one song, they want the 2 songs, the 3 songs, and whatnot that they'll remember for record and they discard the rest. And I think we're getting in an era, especially with pop, with indie, you can even say some of the past couple rap records that we've done, the age of the full record, where we are really getting to the point of artists actually taking time to develop their thoughts, develop their whole projects, and not necessarily make this is a hit, this is what you're gonna get. Naturally, you're always gonna have artists that wanna do that. You're gonna have your Drakes, you're gonna have your Beyoncés and stuff that will make a long record, but there's only a couple standout things from it here or there. But with a lot of these other artists and smaller artists, they're just making really beautiful concept records, making beautiful projects that are just playing through. And we've had so many that pass like all summer long, really. And it's incredible how
Dare we say if the album is back? Because the album was hurting for a while, and we've been talking for the past 5 years about
yeah,
how we like we like music because we like albums. We love concept records. We like when artists can say, "Hey,
storytelling.
yeah, here is a story I want to tell or a picture I want to paint, and I'm going to use some songs to do that, and I'm going to." I've did a lot of thinking about this weekend when I was thinking about some of the bonus episodes we're doing, and it comes down to execution at the end. Not only are you a talented performer, not only do you have a great production team and good people working with you, mastering and marketing that goes along with it to make sure that all the visuals hold tight and work well together. But it's doing that all at once, and like doing that all at once very, very well, and like properly executing and landing on it. I mean, something you were alluding to in the beginning is that the first half of the album kind of just blew you away. That leads to say like the second half of the album didn't. And it's not like it didn't. It's just that if 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 you take the argument the entire record doesn't have any like chart topping like singles or things like that, and I would hazard to disagree. Um Hell, I think you have songs like Forgiveness, so I think are very understated. They're
Yeah.
very like powerful. Um Frankenstein, Phantom could also kind of
Mhm.
fall along in those points. Despite that, I do think the latter half, while it is very concepty, it is kind of like flowing into like really what Rina's like songwriting is. It does kind of fall into that point where I look back and I go in, okay, what is her history? What's her discography? Oh, this is the second record, which means we have to look out for the curse.
Yeah.
And it always kind of comes out in some way. And I think this is a really well executed record as I kind of laid out what I
Mhm.
define that as. But yeah, I think that second half, there could have been for something that is being such an ode to pop in general. It seems like it's missing a couple of those like real pop flares. That being said, it's totally not unheard of, especially in an album kind of world where it's everything gets so flooded, where songs get a second life through like a TikTok trend or something else that happens in like an appearance in media, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
easily this could be something to where one of these songs ends up like blowing up and popping off. That's happened before on Audioface, where like we don't necessarily see what song that's going to be in the review, but we go 6 months later. Oh wow! Of all songs, really, that one's getting a lot of airplay. Interesting.
Like
Could,
the prime example is B2B with Coffee. Like that song just exploded up, and I'm like, that's a really random B2B song to be going up, but okay. And that's kind of the world we live in now. But I think Hold the Girl for a second record, it's I think it's fantastic. There is some issues I have with it. I do think it is top heavy within the way it is. I not necessarily like the pacing towards the end of the record. I wish there was a couple songs kind of changed up. I don't necessarily think she needs to cut anything on this. I think all the tracks or everything that the tools are there. just a couple little editing things or like you could move it. Like example, I would love to have Forgiveness and even Hold the Girl. I would actually like to have those more towards the middle or the end of the record, more than having those ones more up front of it. But after like their self-titled, there's big differences between the two records. They're both obviously pop, but I feel like Hold the Girl is really her trying to step out of the comfort zone, trying to understand yourself as an artist and get ideas and other things and experiment, try different production values, try different things, work with other producers, work with other people, and see what you can come up with. And for that, I think it's very, very good. And the pop genre this year has been fantastic. And this is another one of those records that I really didn't expect much going into it, but it blew me out of the water. I like it. I like it a
Same.
lot.
Arbitrary scale this week. We do arbitrary scales every week on Audioface because our review is our review, and rather than explain out and make it simpler, rather than make it simpler how we think about the album, we'd rather make it complicated by giving it a weird ranking system. Very much unlike Anthony Fantano, who scored a you know, we'll give a sportsman-like clap over here to what happened later with Anthony Fantano a little bit later this week. Another music critic on YouTube. However, his ranking system kind of sucks, and even Drake pointed it out. So we're going to give this ranking system melons this week. So different kind of melons. This album, I'm going to give. And I'm going to go off of the BoJack Horseman ranking system. So no one likes Cantaloupe. That's just the only rule. Cantaloupe's the worst one. I'm going to give.
Oh, really? I like cantaloupe. See, I don't like what is the green melon?
Is it Honeydew?
Honeydew. I hate honeydew. Honeydew is the worst. It's just fucking water.
I think I might be confusing it.
Cantaloupe goes hard. Honeydew is just brutal. Like if I get a fruit salad, which I get a lot, and I see this honeydew in it, I tell them to I return it, and I'm like, don't give me that shit.
Yeah. Honeydew's the one. Honeydew's the bad
Okay.
one. It's
Honeydew's awful. It's bitter. It's water. It's like, why are you giving me this shit? Don't give me honeydew. Again, if you give me honeydew in a salad, I'm not gonna do business with you. Like I'm just gonna return it and just return the sender and be like, no.
to quote BoJack Horseman. God damn it, Honeydew, Jesus! Why does Cantaloupe think every time it gets invited to a party, it can bring along its dumb friend Honeydew? You don't get a +1, Cantaloupe.
That's fucking great. It's like Joey Diaz and ranch dressing. It's me and honeydew.
So, I'm just gonna veer off entirely, and I'm going to give this Cantaloupe.
It was I think it's a solid cantaloupe. I think it's a good. It's one of those cantaloupes where you get a cantaloupe and you get like a little ice cream scooper and you scoop up the cantaloupe because that's how you're raised, and that's the best way to eat cantaloupe.
Good to know.
Yeah.